folks, another NBA player, or let's just say another, famous person accuses LeBron James of taking steroids, HGH, whatever you want to call it, performance enhancing drugs. I wouldn't say this guy is too famous, but this guy, he's a basketball player. Jeff Teague, he ain't really saying nothing, folks, and there will be nothing that comes out of this. Let me tell you what this is right here. They're just throwing this in your face. That's all they're doing for entertainment purposes only. Jeff Teague needs to sell his channel. Let's remember, Kevin Garnett, I mean, a big name in sports, you know what I'm saying, in basketball in general, said this about LeBron James, was on that new juice, and nothing happened. We remember the Balco thing. The Balco thing was big. Even the guy that worked at Balco accused LeBron James of, getting drugs from the lab. Nothing happened. This is all entertainment, folks. Okay? Just like we got this Epstein thing going with Trump and all this stuff, it's all entertainment. It's all to keep you busy while they screw your lives up. That's all it is. Keep you busy while they screw your lives up. So you won't know which way to look, which way to go, which way to think. Nothing. They always got something on the table to keep your mind busy. And what's going on now to keep your mind busy is the fact that they're wiping out, or not wiping out, you could say that too, but changing the population in the United States. Well, they're doing that all over the world, period. But while they do that, they got to keep you entertained. That's all it is, folks. They got to keep you entertained. I got a good laugh out of, I don't know, these fools on Fox. I think they were part of the Donald Trump administration, talking about, they try to act like they're doing something with all these illegal immigrants that Biden let in for the last 4 years, even though they came in under Trump's watch. The only thing is, Trump, when he was in office the first time, his administration didn't say you can break the law, come across the border, even though they were coming. We remember that caravan thing. They've been coming under everybody's administration. The what do you call them? The Border Patrol basically ain't been doing their job. But under that Biden for those 4 years, it was basically like, break the law, come in, we'll reward you, we'll put you up in, we'll pay your rent, we'll get you going, everything. That's what the Biden administration was about. We give you cell phones, everything. So now, Trump was running. The big thing was him running on, taking these people back. And as he got closer to, the election, it started being about these illegal immigrant criminals. I guess you want to call them migrant now, right? I'm not going to call them migrants. Migrants are people who come here legally and have to pay to get in here to do it right. Those are migrants. I call them illegal immigrant criminals because when you cross the border, it's illegal. But yet they have all kind of Americans in prison and jails for breaking the law. Anyways, so now when he was getting closer to his election, boom, bam, boom, he started saying illegal immigrant criminals. That's what they were focused on. So those are a very small percentage numbers in comparison to all the illegal immigrants that came across the border. And what I want to say is sickening that they only put certain people out there, mostly Central Americans, that came across that border. Now, probably the majority was, but a lot of them was everybody from around the world. Okay? Asians, Indians, Arabs, whatever you want to say. People from the Caribbean, they all were paying to come across that border. Now, again, as it got closer to winning, or the election got closer, he started saying all this illegal immigrant criminals, that's what they were going to target. And they start coming up with, they committed this crime, committed. It's like I said, those people are a very small handful of the people that came across the border in comparisons to the ones who came here and did commit crimes. Well, they committed crime by crossing the border, but once he got elected, it was just an all-out, we're getting these illegal immigrant criminals. And the majority of us never heard of these people, never seen these people, was never affected by these people. What Americans are affected by, or people who did it right, the illegal immigrants that came across, now taking American jobs for years to come. You're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions that came across that border for them last 4 years, while Biden told the Border Patrol to stand down. Well, those immigrants will be here to not only take American jobs for years to come and lower the cost of, well, not lower, I guess you could say it, but what do you want to call it? I almost said the cost of living. You know what I'm saying? The pay at work. Your pay is not going to go up now because these people have came in to work for nothing. Okay? And now they're lowering wages because they're here to work for nothing because they don't speak English. They just got here, such and such and such and such. They're going to take over communities and put, Americans out of communities. And that's why Biden brought them across the border. Now, to me, you say, well, what are you saying? You can't say nothing. The damage is done. The damage is done. You can't get these people out of the country. It might have been 10 million that came across that border at the time. Now, it would literally be a waste of money, resources, and time to try to get them back out. These people did what they wanted to do. That was the body. You Democrat people who vote Democrat, I hope you're happy. Especially the Black Americans, I hope you're happy. Now, if you're Caribbean, something like that, maybe this is, right up your alley. It's for your people. But the people they call African Americans, you're pretty much finished in the future. You're done. You're done. Because they brought in all these people. There's no work. There was no work before they brought in these people. So why'd you bring in these people? And you can see the past 10, 15 years, they've been setting up in all the black neighborhoods in small towns, a lot of these illegal immigrants, which begs to, how are these people getting a place to live? It's just crazy. How do you get a place to live and you have no papers to get a place to live and you're not legal? How come the landlords aren't getting fined for letting these people live in a place? Because when I go get a place somewhere, they need all this stuff. Social Security and work history and, rental history, all this stuff. But I guess when you live in a poor neighborhood, it's okay. And you're illegal. I'm just saying, I hope you Democrat voters, you can pat yourself on the back. Because the poor Democrat voters that live in poor neighborhoods, you're finished. Get used to seeing these people in your communities, you're finished. These are the new people, new you in the poor neighborhoods. We'll make a whole video about that. This is wow. This is a gentrification on a whole different level. But anyways, like I said, to me, if you ever, I'll save that for another video, but you're not ever going to come to this channel and me talking the same like the rest of these fools. This ain't about black and white. This ain't about race. This ain't about nothing. It's about the facts. It's about reality, folks. If you look at stuff for black and white and, this country, that country, you ain't never going to see what's in front of you. Don't watch the news, because the news is going to tell you what they want you to hear. They're not going to tell you what you need to hear. No. What you need to hear is both sides is full of shit, Democrats and Republicans. Biden should be going to jail for what he did. I see people in my city, I'm like, damn, who the hell are these people? How are they living so good so fast? It's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, there was everybody out here struggling to get work and stuff like that, and you're bringing in all these people for what? Well, we already know for what. So they can work for these big corporations that give money to the politicians when they run for their campaigns. Yes. Stop thinking your vote count. Your vote is a popular vote, folks. Go read the Constitution. It does not vote a president into office. It don't. It don't. It never has, never will. Okay? The politicians vote the president into office. That's in the law. But anyways, so the corporations, they run, they give money to the politicians through the lobbyists to make laws. That's what the corporations do. So these people are brought in so they can work for the corporations. You can see everything now is just going to go to third party and AI. And Trump ain't did nothing for you. What they're trying to cover up is the fact that they put so much money, billions, into Homeland Security, ICE, and all this stuff, and are not taking these people back. Like I said, if they took $1 million back a year, folks, it would be a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of money. But the fact that they're giving all this money to their buddies to make it look like they're doing something, they have to do that because they're putting all this money in their pocket. Got to understand how the world works. They're going to bring you some entertainment, that's all they're going to bring you. They're not taking these people home. They know they can't take these people home. And they don't want to take these people home because the same people that gave to the Republican campaign the big corporations, these immigrants, illegal immigrants, work for those corporations. They work for those corporations that gave money to Trump's campaign. Okay? You gotta wake up one day. I mean, it's just sad. We have elders that don't even know what's going on in this world. Like I said, you're gonna go to your death and you can't teach your grandchildren nothing. Maybe how to knit a pillow or a cover, or cook a dish or something like that. But I'm talking about the same stuff that you don't even know what's going on as far as politics. So this is the entertainment they're bringing you now. It's all these are all actors, man, on TV. That's what politicians are. They're actors. This is going on all around the world, where they have brought in all these immigrants into to Europe, Canada, all these places. And I'm not blaming them. I would run there too. I'm not going to sit at my home and starve. They're like, oh yeah, I'm saying something bad. No, I'm just saying. But what they're doing is they're changing the people. It's like this bullshit history they tell you in school today. It's all, what's so crazy about it? Everybody done debunked all this history in school. It's almost like worthless sending your children to school now, because it's all fake. It's all fake. All the history books is fake. It's basically fake. And most of the science, all this stuff is fake. It's been debunked inside and out. And it ain't like people sitting there just making up stuff. No, they're going to the documents in the Library of Congress, in the what do we call this? In the museums, all this stuff of these governments around the world. So they're getting the history from the governments, from the USA. If you're talking about the United States, you're getting the history out of the museums, the Library of Congress, old books before Reconstruction, all this stuff. You're getting all this history that they don't even tell in school. And people's been putting this out for the last 20 years. I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. But, like I said, I'm going to end it right there. They ain't sending all these people back home. This is just, they're not. It's a feel-good story. And they're going to be bringing more people in because they need to change. You can see and while they're doing it, is because a lot of people done woke up to the lies about this stuff, about world history. That's why they're trying to change the people. Okay? And once they change the people, they're going to change their history again and say, these people did this, and these people did this, and these people, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be the same stuff that they've been doing, folks. That's all it is. So this Jeff Teague, all he's trying to get you is to run to his channel and do what? So he can make some money. The $100 million that he made, because I looked it up, said he made $98 million in his career. Wasn't good enough. He didn't make enough money, folks. He didn't know what to do with that $98 million that he made. And I keep trying to tell you, these guys do not make this kind of money, folks. Never have, never will. They don't. They all have to get a job, just like you and me, when they retire. Hell, what's so crazy about it? These guys today, they're supposed to be making, all this money, record-breaking contracts, like, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million a year. They got a podcast during the season just to make money. Shaq, where's all your money, bro? Shaq should be a billionaire by now. And Shaq is out here podcasting. Where's all these guys' money? So, what Jeff Teague is saying, it ain't gonna do nothing. Nothing. We all done heard this. Jeff Teague, you ain't saying nothing new. You ain't got no new thoughts. You sound more like an idiot than anything. Yeah, you can say he's on this, he's on that, but why ain't you condemning the NBA for letting this guy cheat? Why aren't you doing it? Oh, you just gonna say, oh man, he was on that, and that's the way he looked the best when he was, on that, and blah, blah, blah. Shut the hell up, man. Why don't you explain to us why you are podcasting and trying to make money when you supposedly made $100 million in your career? Tell us that. Explain that. And don't get it twisted, folks. I'm trying to tell you, don't get this twisted. If you think LeBron James is going down on that shit by himself, he ain't going down. And, him and Clutch, they ain't going down by themselves on that ship. If they got to go down and drown, he's going to be throwing all kind of other people overboard with him. And guess what? He might be the only one that has what do you call it? A life restraint, whatever that thing's called, where you don't drown. He's gonna be the only one with one on. A life vest. He's gonna be the only one with one on. He's gonna throw everybody overboard. Yeah, man, he ain't going down by himself. He's gonna snitch on everybody. He's gonna blow the NBA up. And then you're gonna have people, with him, his buddies like Draymond Green. Yeah, this guy did this, and then hell, Draymond Green might snitch before LeBron snitch. Oh yeah, this dude was on this dude because LeBron James heard this dude was doing this. He thought it was okay because the whole league before he came in was on it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be bigger than what you think, man. Are you here to listen to what they're telling you? Or can you make of it what you need to know? That's how life works, man. You can listen to people, especially these people on TV, but you better come and form your own opinion. Other than if you don't, you're a robot. Don't be a robot, folks. That's why I can't be around a lot of people, because all their thoughts are the same. Because they feel kind of uncomfortable if they're not thinking like the same person. And they don't want to be, condemned if they have different thoughts. And what I mean is, when you get around a whole bunch of people, watch them. They will all talk the same. They all talk on the same level. They all had the same thoughts. They all had the same opinions. And where do their opinions come from? It's opinions of them being brainwashed and indoctrinated by the school books, by the media, by the government. That's all their thoughts. And if you say something different and have a different opinion, and basically, if you're unique, because these people will walk around, yeah, I'm unique, man, I'm different. No, you're not. Because I can get a whole bunch of other people that is saying the same thing like you and thinking the same way. That's just it. So you're not unique. You're not. You're not unique. If you believe in the same religion, the same government, the same science, the same history, the same health, you're not unique. Same religion, same politics, you're not unique. You're not different. You're a sheep. That's what you are. And you're scared to get out that line because here's a sheepdog coming, try to put you back in line. And you're going to get back in that line because you're going to feel uncomfortable if you get out that line. You're going to feel like I'm not accepted. They're going to say I'm crazy, man. And that's why you ain't going to hear me talk like most of these people about Jeff Teague or what he just said or what anybody says about, what's going on in the latest story. It don't work like that, folks. I'm going to tell the truth about it. Why not? Jeff Teague needs money. Just like most of these NBA players need money. Why are they podcasting? Why are most people podcasting, folks? Well, most of us who supposedly didn't make tens of millions of dollars, in a sports career or a Hollywood career or something like that, most of us are doing it for the money. Now, I'm not making any money because I want to say what I want to say, so my channel isn't monetized, but most people are doing it for the money. 99% of them are doing it for the money, and that don't bother me. Because people are dedicating their life to doing this. But what I'm trying to say is, so why are these celebrities and these NBA players doing it for the money? They're supposed to have tens of millions of dollars. And not only that, folks, they're lying to make money. That's what's so crazy. You're out here lying to make money. So you're lying to make money because they can't be interesting unless they lie. Right? And so if they lie and stir up drama and stuff like that, now people will run back to their podcast. Now people will, say something on their podcast about what they said. So it's now Jeff T said this, Jeff T said that, Jeff T. So you need to run back and see what Jeff T said on his podcast, just like a Gilbert Arenas, whatever like that. So that's how they're gonna make money, by saying a whole bunch of dumb stuff, because nobody really cares about them like that, and they're not gonna waste their time on a podcast when they could be doing something else with their lives. That's if they're not making any money. It's not worth their time. But if they sit up here and lie and say a whole bunch of stupid stuff that don't make any sense, now you're gonna not only subscribe to their podcast, but you're gonna run over there and see, let me, maybe you're gonna say something stupid today. All these people care about is money, folks. When you stop living in this fake world to where you think it's all about caring, giving, looking out for one another, and all this stupid stuff. It should be, but no, folks, it's about money. The root of all evil. It's about money. That's why we was talking about all these immigrants. Why are they running over here? They love their country, right? They'll come over here waving their flag and all this stuff. Say, I'm this, I'm saying, I'm that. But they're coming over here for money. You need money to have this, do that, for money. United States, all the money that they're using, all the money, they could be helping their country out. They don't want to, because it's about, like I said, the politicians giving money to not the politicians, the corporations giving money to the politicians when they run for their campaign to get these immigrants over here, so they work for nothing. So they don't want to help these poor countries out. They want to keep them poor. And the problem is, with this whole thing is, the thing about immigrants, they're really efficient. They're really efficient. They're hustlers. They know how to do with less because they've been doing it all their lives and stuff like that. So when they get over to a country like United States, Europe, all these rich countries, they're not going to stay at the bottom for a long time. That's the problem. So what happens is they eventually say, I need more money, or they just move on to bigger and better things. So now the system and the corporations that run this country, now they need more slaves and people that work for cheaper or work for cheap, whatever. So now, you have to bring in another round of slaves. These are what you would call indentured slaves. Indentured slaves were people who, didn't have paperwork yet. And that's what most black people was coming to this country for just about the whole time they were being brought over here, indentured slaves. That's why by the time the 1800s came, before slavery, all these black people were free, especially up in the north, because they were all indentured slaves. They did their time on paper. We already read this. We go to the beginning of slavery. It said the first black people that came over here were indentured all the way up until the 1800s. All the way up until it was like 1820. It was something crazy. And we still want to be with the stupid story. I mean, the ludicrous stuff they tell you, because these slaves, they want to tell you that these people got free. Where did you go free to? They're trying to say all these people were just slaves. Where did you go free to? Because in the North, it was slavery too. I don't know what these people are saying. They want to say all these people in the North were free because they ran. No, they ran because they were stealing people in the North into slavery. Like the movie 12 Years a Slave. Because the North was pissed off because the South didn't want to pay more taxes. So the Harriet Tubman group, they had a business and they start stealing black slaves. They won't tell you about white slaves. So they start stealing people, especially black people, into slavery. Like the movie 12 Years a Slave is showing you, it was stealing black people into slavery. And then it was a racket. They was making money. And they were stealing these people up north, black people mostly, stealing them and selling them down south. And then their people will be like, yeah, we want to pay the money to get them back. So they would pay the money to get them back. So the Harriet Tubman crew will go get them. And some of it was easy, because what happened at the end of the movie, 12 Years a Slave? All they did was bring their papers down to the slave master, and he had to release them. The paper that said he wasn't born a slave, or he had papers saying he was a free man. So they had to let him go. It was that easy, folks. Black people need to wake up. The only people that were slaves was people who, POWs, lost in war, people who broke the law. That's it. The rest were indentured slaves. And thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of black people came here as indentured slaves all the way up until the 1800s. The story done blew up in the government's face. Everybody done debunked all this stuff 1,000 times over with their own records. It's not, it ain't even like something worth hiding no more. It's just like, wow, how can the people be dumb that they don't even know there's a difference between the history of the land? That's one history, the actual land, and then the history in the world of commerce, which is the laws of the sea. And that's what they're telling you, the history in the world of commerce, which is fictitious. That's what they're trying to tell the people in school, because school is nothing. It deals with commercial. It's a business. It's a business. That's all the school is. It's a business, folks. So let me get off of here. Everybody going to tell this stupid story about Jeff Teague, and we already know this, folks. We already know this. Ain't nothing going to happen. Nobody cares about the 2020s. You know, they're embarrassing their own league, trying to keep their league alive with this, you know, with LeBron James. And, you know, like I said, when this guy retires, the league better not say nothing. It's going to be like Major League Baseball ratings, because they decided to, you know, hedge everything on this guy for so long. A loser, a clown, a cheater, a meltdown artist. So when he retires, folks, it's over. Just like the steroid thing, they were bringing all these people from the Caribbean, all these Spanish people, and, you know, they didn't want you to see that. So they start, you know, this whole, you know, steroid thing for, you know, until we got to the 210s. But when we got to the 210s, the steroid thing was over, and we looked up and couldn't nobody speak no damn English in the MLB. So, and then it went down the drain. So it's going to be the same thing with basketball. I mean, basketball's had already been going down the drain, but like I said, when LeBron retires, it's really over, folks. It's done. It's finished. It's over. There won't be nothing to talk about, because this is what they've been talking about for the last, you know, 22 years, the last 15 years straight. Is this guy who did it wrong, was a cheater, was a liar, you know, don't have skills like that, couldn't get it done, everything. Have fun.